Regarding Treasurer Joe Hockey, do you agree with his comments that poorer Australians are less likely to be affected by an increase in fuel taxes because they don't drive as much? Do you agree with that assertion?
Well, plainly, I wouldn't say that. But I do want to make it clear that the best thing we can do for all Australians, rich and poor alike, is get the budget back under control so that the government can continue to deliver effectively in the medium and long term the services that every Australian needs, but particularly low-income people. That's the challenge, to get our economy stronger so that everyone can be better off, particularly low-income people can be better off. That's the challenge. And whatever people may think about the way Joe expressed himself in a particular radio interview, he has a plan to ensure that all Australians are better off in the long term. It's the only plan that is currently before the Australian people, and that's why it's so important that the Labor Party, which has been obstructing this plan at every turn, which caused the problem, the debt and deficit disaster, which the government is seeking to address, should accept that it got it wrong and should stop trying to obstruct the only solution on offer.
Do you still have confidence in your Treasurer?
Does the Treasurer continue to have your full support then in his ability to sell this budget?
Of course. Look, I don't say for a second that all elements of the budget are popular. It is not easy to address a debt and deficit disaster. It is not easy to say to the Australian people, look, benefits that you were told you could have are not affordable. They were never affordable. The former government was pulling the wool over your eyes. The former government was spending money that it just didn't have and couldn't afford and couldn't sustain. It's not easy to do that. But the Australian people are good, decent, sensible people. I believe that Australians understand that in the end, government, like families, like businesses, has to live within its means, and that's what we will do. We will live within our means because that is the only way to deliver a better life to the Australian people in the medium and long term.
Are your Cabinet Ministers out of touch with everyday Australians, and can you give us any examples of that being otherwise?
You know, one of the reasons that we were so determined to get rid of the carbon tax is because we know that a lot of people are doing it tough. A lot of Australians are doing it tough right now, and the carbon tax was a gratuitous assault on their standard of living. It was a gratuitous assault on their hip pocket. And thanks to the repeal of the carbon tax, the average Australian family is $550 a year better off. And at every step of the way, we have been opposed by the Labor Party. And the first thing that the Labor Party would do if it ever gets back into government would be to hit you again with a carbon tax.
Does the Treasurer have an image problem when he keeps saying things that suggest he is out of touch?
I'm very proud of the budget that the Treasurer and I have brought down, that the government has brought down. I am very proud of that, and I want to focus on the fundamental challenges facing our country. And the fundamental challenge that the Treasurer and I are totally focused on is how do we manage Labor's debt and deficit disaster? How do we get our budget back under control so we can make our economy stronger so that every Australian can be better off? That's the challenge that we're focused on. Right now we are still borrowing $1 billion every single month just to pay the interest on Labor's debt. This is a completely unacceptable, unsustainable situation. That's the challenge that we have, thanks to 6 years of utter incompetence, and that is the challenge that we are determined to deal with. Thank you.